Next, we're off to Tucson, Arizona, where we look at a Guinness Book of World Records record.
So Bisbee, the English setter, has become the latest in a long line of living dogs who have become world record holders for having the longest tongue. So this tongue, which is very impressive, not always on display, only on display when Bisbee is very, very excited or very hot, measures 3.74 inches. So it's got to be a joke in this somewhere. Jim's going to go, how long's 3.74 inches, Jim? Or 9.49 centimeters. And this is a 3-year-old dog.
Yep.
How do you think they measured the tongue?
Carefully.
No, but I mean, quite seriously.
You mean how far back does it go?
No, because they measure it. They measure it from where it hangs out of the mouth,
right,
to the end of it, right? But how do you actually do that? Bearing in mind that when a dog has a tongue hanging out, it's panting, it's probably not standing still, the tongue wags around and all that kind of stuff. So, genuine question: how do you think they did it?
I don't know. Here's what I would do.
Yeah,
I would use. I would give it something to lick, and then I would photograph it, and then be able to calibrate things. But that's my high-tech solution how to do it. What do they do?
Well, when I read this initially, I read it and I jumped to a conclusion too early in what they were saying. They said they sedated the dog, and I was like, that's horrific. You can't sedate a dog just to measure the tongue. But it turns out they were sedating the dog for something completely unrelated. It was an operation the dog was having. And while the dog was sedated, the owner, who I think, they don't say this, but I think she must be a vet or a veterinary nurse, said, I think my dog has got the world's longest tongue. So they got a tape measure out because the dog was on the operating table, and they measured it, and obviously then took the photo. But that's how they did it, because I was thinking, how on earth would you do it? But it was the dog was asleep at the time.
So let's all if you think your dog might have a long tongue, ask for a little general anesthesia.
Jim, seriously now, Maple is being spayed in a couple of months' time. And so I was like, well, she's going to be under. Is my vet going to think I'm really weird if I ask if they could measure her tongue while she's
not if you give him access to this podcast and understand that it's all in the interest of earning yourself a Guinness Book of World or Maple, a Guinness Book of World Records record.
Yes, but wouldn't it genuinely? I'm dead serious about this. I don't think you're taking me seriously enough.
No, not clearly not.
Wouldn't it be really interesting to know? Because this is a bit of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm hoping she's not going to undergo anesthesia, again anytime soon. And it's coming up in a couple of months. Wouldn't it be interesting to know, even if she's not the world record holder, where she stands on that? Because it's 3.74 inches. Wouldn't it be interesting?
I totally support that, and I promise that day that will be the least invasive part of the procedure.
That's true. But
I think she was like, "Oh well, I gotta just stuck my tongue out." But what did you do?
Yeah. No, I want a photo, because even if it turns out she's like 3,
I think you should get into the surgery, as they call it there. I think you should be there. You should be in your mask and scrubs or whatever they outfit
with my DPN
and your your DPN microphone and a these are not props. We will be using these later this year. And your tape measure and making sure that you can record for the Guinness
Book. This is accelerated quickly. So now I'm actually going to ask to be in the operating theatre to measure my own dog's tongue.
I think that you wouldn't want to take it secondhand. I think you really want to be there for it. It's worthy.
Am I not?
And then we need some. Yeah.
Will I have to scrub up and then walk into the room like this, like they do on the surgery programs? Where you walk in.
I don't know how sterile your vet hospital is, but the ones that I've witnessed, not so much.
Right. Well, I watch this space. I am going to run it by my vet, who is obviously going to think I'm a lunatic, but I want to know how long my dog's tongue. And
it's all in the interest of science and entertainment.
I fear that if I'm not there personally to oversee this, that they're going to come out and they're going to say, well, Maple recovered very well for the operation. I'm going to say, how long was her tongue? And they go, oh, we forgot.
It's not a standard. It's not on our standard. We check the anesthesia, we check the sutures, and we didn't know. Oh, oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you have to be
Oh,
there,
okay.
Claire. You
Okay.
have to be there to measure and bring your own measuring instrument.
I will be that pushy pup parent. That's not easy to say
Yeah,
that. Now,
yeah.
in the interest of talking about world records, because there are
Mm,
quite a lot of them to do with
mhm.
dogs,
There are.
I had a look at a few of them. The highest jump by a dog, there was a photograph that went with this, and it's incredible. So this is a dog who jumped. How tall are you?
I'm 6'1", so it jumped higher than I am.
It jumped six
Yeah,
foot three.
yeah.
Um, and this is a
Which
greyhound.
which if you're following at home, 191.7 centimeters.
The photo of this dog, and the owner was shorter than 6'3" as well, and it just effortlessly just cleared this thing. It was incredible. You want to do the tennis ball one? That's quite cool.
Yes, the tennis ball one. The world record for the most tennis balls held in the mouth by a dog at one time is 5. 5, that's not it. Augie, who is a golden retriever who's owned by the Miller family in Dallas, Texas, successfully gathered and held all 5 regulation-sized tennis balls in July of 2003, so about 20 years ago. But 5 tennis balls doesn't I've seen hey,
It's a lot. 5 tennis balls.
is
How
it?
many tennis balls can you hold in your mouth?
I'd rather not say.
True story, and I am diverting a lot on
Yeah.
this conversation,
This is
but
clearly where we are on this show.
I met my husband when I was midway through a competition, not tennis
Mhm.
balls, to see how many Pringles I could fit in my mouth.
No way.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, and so how many Pringles did
I,
you have in your
I,
mouth?
I wish I could remember this detail, but it got lost in the midst of time. But there I was, if you can imagine all these Pringles. He was not put off by this, came over. I mean,
I was gonna say,
it was a drunken evening, but,
yeah.
came over and then attempted to see how many Pringles he could fit in his mouth. It's very hard because they're very drying, by the way. Um, he told me many years later that the whole putting Pringles in his mouth thing had nearly backfired terribly because he'd nearly been sick. So
Well, you would have found that attractive. I
no,
had no idea. This is important ways of meeting people. So,
exactly. So I
okay, so
yeah.
I did, and nor did I know that was one of your talents, which is
Well,
pretty extraordinary too.
I don't know if there's a space for that in the Guinness Book of Records. I mean, there's dogs and tennis balls, but
Pringles?
not Pringles. I'm not so sure.